This histopathology section is quite different from other sections in the laboratory in terms of the types of specimens received. Most sections may receive only blood and urine specimens. However, in the histopathology laboratory, there is a wide range of specimens, ranging from a very minute biopsy specimen to large organs. Large specimens are dealt with in the laboratory by cutting it into small representatives about 0.5 cubic centimeters in size. The first step in tissue processing is fixation. Fixation is the process by which cell and tissue structures and chemical components are preserved in a lifelike manner to prevent decomposition and autolysis. It involves terminating metabolic processes, penetrating individual compartments, and hardening of tissues. There are cases wherein a specimen needs to be fixed twice. Thus, the process is called secondary fixation. The next step is dehydration. Dehydration is the process of removing extracellular and intracellular water from the tissue using increasing concentrations of dehydrating agent, such as alcohol. Water is immiscible with paraffin wax, thus it needs to be completely removed. A general rule in dehydrating specimens is that the amount of dehydrating agent should always be more than 10 times the volume of the specimen. When using alcohol as a dehydrating agent, it is necessary to include 2 absolute alcohol steps at the end to ensure the complete removal of water in the tissue. Next is clearing. Clearing or dealcoholization is the process of removing dehydrating agents. This process also makes the tissue transparent or clear. Clearing agents should be miscible with both alcohol and paraffin wax. The next step is infiltration. Infiltration or impregnation is the process of saturating the tissue with a medium, usually liquid paraffin, to permeate or fill up the natural cavities, spaces, and interstices of the tissue. This will allow the tissue to harden and prevent distortion of the specimen during sectioning. Usually, paraffin wax is heated to a temperature of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above its melting point. Note that the melting point of paraffin wax may differ depending on the manufacturer. Next is embedding. Embedding is the process of forming a tissue block using a mold as a shaping device. A tissue block is formed with the paraffin wax or other embedding media to allow the cutting of suitable thin sections without the unnecessary distortion and alteration of the spatial relationships of the tissue and its cellular elements. This process, after trimming or facing, facilitates sectioning. Sectioning or microtomy is the process of cutting the tissue blocks into microthin slices of tissue ribbons using a microtome. A microtome is a mechanical instrument used to slice or cut biological specimens into very thin sections or segments for microscopic examination, usually around 3 to 5 micrometer in thickness. The type of microtome that can be used is dependent on the type of specimen that will be sectioned. The sections are placed on a flotation water bath set at a temperature of 5 to 10 degrees Celsius lower than the melting point of the paraffin wax to eliminate wrinkles, remove entrapped air, and flatten and smoothen the surface of the sections. If the sections are too wrinkled, the addition of 70% alcohol solution to the water bath can remedy this prior to placing it onto the slide with adhesives applied on its surface. Fishing the smoothened tissue is done by submerging the slide into the water bath at approximately 45 degrees angle. After that, the slide dryer is used to hasten the process of heating the slides after fishing the tissue section in a flotation water bath. The warming plate or slide dryer should have a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius for warming overnight, or 58 degrees Celsius for 20 to 30 minutes of warming. And now, the next step is staining. Staining is the process of coloring the transparent tissue sections for the purpose of optically differentiating the cells and tissue constituents of the specimen microscopically. In routine staining procedures, it is important to reverse the embedding process and make sure that the tissue on the slide becomes permeable to water-soluble dyes. The reversal process includes deparaffинization with the use of clearing agents and rehydration with the use of descending grades of alcohol in 1 to 5 minutes on each. The most common staining method used in histopathology laboratory is the hematoxylin and eosin method. This method is used as a routine staining technique as it can easily color the cytoplasm, nucleus, and organelles. Other stains may be used if specific cellular structures or specific organisms must be stained. After staining, the slide with specimen should be mounted. Mounting is the process of securing cover slip on top of a tissue slide section. The purpose of mounting is to protect the tissue section from damage and thus facilitate handling of the slide and extend storage indefinitely. The adherence of the cover slip on the slide is facilitated by using a mounting medium. Mounting media can be liquid, gum, or resinous, soluble in water, alcohol, or other solvents. It is ideal that the mounting medium used has a refractive index as similar as possible to that of the tissue section. So the end product of histopathology processing is a properly labeled and stained tissue section on a slide covered with mounting medium and protected by a cover slip or cover slide.